Hello everyone, welcome to third video of Arrohum Sutra. Today we will cover level 2 of Shuddham. This will be Shuddham, i.e. cleansing of our subtle body or Sushumna Sharira, which comprises of chakras and Nadis, which are like the main storage of energy points through which the pranic energy flows and transports through various nadis to our body organs. It's not just that, let's go quite deep. So for a few minutes, let's understand deeply the main concept and core behind the chakras, the nadis, the flow, existence of human souls, etc. So let's start with basic point, creation. I'll keep it short. So, as we all know that souls were created from, some believe Nirakar, some believe Sakar, but let's for now name them as Parashakti and Parashiva. So when the souls are created from great source of light, they are also like pure sparks of divine. But in order to kickstart the Leela or the game, the souls descend down and they get like a covering of spirit body, which we also call as Karan Sharira, and Mahamaya infuse or make the spirit body with 3 type of gunas: tamasic, rajasic and sattvic. But if same amount of guna or same dose, it would be such a boring way, and there will be no scope of growth, of learning lessons, or enjoying this whole Leela by the divine. So in various permutations and combinations, these gunas make up the spirit body or Karan Sharira of each soul. Now, according to whatever at the end, whatever the core of that spirit body comes out to be, those souls go to those different lokas. For example, in some, that Shiva Tattva is more, they go to Shiva Loka, or in some, the Shakti Tattva or Vaishnav Tattva or Radha Tattva, Love Tattva is more, that Prem Tattva, they go to their different lokas, and which is their starting point, or you can call as their home, calling back to home. So from there, from these lokas, right now to be pure, there is no karma, there is nothing, there is pure love, there is pure wisdom, there is pure blessing. Now from there, the souls with that Karan Sharira of different gunas descend down to planets like Earth. It's not just one Earth, there are many planets like that, and even Earth is not one, there are many Earths according to different yugas that are going on different Earths, right? So according to their lessons, which their higher guides, their Isht or their soul groups guide, they start their journey on that particular planet. Let's talk about Earth for now because we live here. So in due course of various janmas, we pick up various sanskaras, we make some connections, we meet certain people, we fall in love, we have fights, this, that, etc. But just remember, these sanskaras' core point is the permutation and combination of that specific tattvas or of gunas, which were imbibed in you during that creation of your spirit body. And that becomes your main lesson. Okay, for example, for some people, the main tattva was of sattvic or sattvic guna of maybe compassion and love. So now what will be their main lesson on the course of the earth life? To also balance other gunas, Rajasic and Tamasic. It means to understand how to draw a boundary so that you don't overleak your compassion and don't get entangled more in attachments. For that, fierce tamasic, or you can say fierce deities tattva like Kali tattva or Bhairav tattva come into play so that you also learn to draw these boundaries, and that will be the main soul lesson of that soul before moksha. What's moksha? Basically returning back to home or rising above the three gunas, right? But first these lessons has to be learned. Now obviously in learning those lessons we get entangled into various karmas because we come to karma bhumi, which is dharti, right? And because of those karmas, action reactions, this cycle we get trapped in. So whatever karmic seeds are there, they get stored in that karan sharira. Okay. Now, as these karmic seeds are stored in karan sharira, according there is a upper loka which is called as ancestral lok, or where the spirit guides, or when we die we go there to rest, to understand whatever lessons we have done, etc., which is also called as pitri lok, and some goes to dev lok before returning back according to their karmas. Now there, a soul with their gurus and guides chooses for next janma. Okay, just remember, a soul never chooses only according to the last birth. It takes into account 5 to 6 births or 8 to 10 births, again depending upon their evolution. Okay, now these 8 to 10 births I am taking, and I need to lead these particular lessons. It's always not just one lesson. There is always a main core lesson, but it's like an ocean, that main core lesson, and there are different tributaries and different rivers that going out, which is connected to that main lesson. And accordingly, the soul chooses the next birth. And only those seeds, for example, if we have undergone like thousands of births, but then obviously in one life we won't be covering those thousands of births, or we have already covered whatever, it depends, and we have already learned that lesson. See, if we cover those 6 to 6 lessons, and if we don't learn our part, those lessons repeat, and sometimes more karmas are added. So accordingly, our soul is very obviously intelligent. It devises or chooses a certain day, a certain nakshatra in certain planetary system, that okay, fine, for these 5 to 6 lessons of main lessons of my life, at these particular times, these dashas of those planets will be activated. And when these dashas and planetary systems are activated, universe is not just outside, it's also inside. The chakras also corresponds to various planets, which discussion we can have later. So when these, for example, heartbreak seed is activated, and moon is somehow related to heart. Okay, so when the heartbreak chakra, heartbreak seeds come in form, the Karan Sharira, the pranic Shakti, takes it over to our heart chakra, Anahata chakra. Our moon dasha gets activated, and our lessons related to validation, to relationship, to controlling our mind starts. If we learn those lessons, that karmic seeds get burnt off. That Dhanubandhana is sealed, completely off, goes transformed. Because the energy is not lost. Those seeds have to be transformed, right? So we transform that validation lesson to lesson of self-love, independence, and having compassion for people, for example, who broke our heart. So let's take a practical example. We are into a relationship and we got betrayed. Now here this game of destiny and free will comes. We'll meet that person, we'll have that heartbreak, that dasha was activated, it's destiny, because we have chosen it before. But now, how we react to that is free will. For example, if someone betrayed us, we feel that pain, we feel that hurt, etc. Now, how do we process that pain? That comes from buddhi, higher mentality, wisdom, which is, if you are that sadhak, it's very easy to differentiate. But if you are not, then your sadhana, your mantra sadhana, your surrender to Ishta helps. Because generally, according to our past sanskaras, our main reflex reaction is, okay, that person betrayed me, I hate that person. Or we say some rubbish words to that person, or we want to hurt that person. If that person have hurted us, and if we hurt them back, that cycle will continue even to your next birth, because that attachment, threads of hate, this, that, continues. But if we are into our sadhana, or if we understand of, if we do a daily process of our Shuddham and Kavacham and healing and mantra sadhana, our higher body gets activated, our buddhi, the discrimination body, the discrimination power gets activated, our awareness gets enhanced, and we get to understand, okay, that person hurted me, maybe I must have done something wrong in my past birth. That is why this loop happened. Because in this universe, the nature is so smart, so wise, nothing happens, nothing is coincidence. There is always a reason, even if you meet for a brief period, or even if you go into a brief period and meet someone, etc. There is some karmic link or your debt attached to that person, mental, emotional, or financial, or however, or spiritual. Right. So now, if you have that awareness, you will say, okay, I hurted that person in my past life. Now he hurted me. I understand that, and also one step ahead, you can have that awareness, okay, because maybe that person have undergone such traumatic childhood, or something like that. I understand that even he doesn't know, or she doesn't know what he or she wants, and maybe have acted out of the blocks that person is carrying. And then you start having compassion, and you forgive that person, and you just move on by forgiving that person. It's very difficult, but then this is how that karmic seed will get over completely, because you transform it to higher vibration of forgiveness and compassion and understanding your past birth scene with that person. Now, once that karmic seed gets come into your chakras, depending on what kind of karmic seed is there, if we do the kriya yoga or this prana healing or even mantra sadhana at higher levels, it's very, suppose that forgiveness may take 10 years normally, or maybe not, you're not able to forgive in that life, or 20 years. But if you are into these sadhanas, that process accelerates a lot. Maybe you forgive that person in the course of 2 months or 3 months, and you can move on very soon. That is your free will. That is where sadhana helps and your ishta helps. So, today, I think we can start let me record another video, and we can do the level 1, level 2 Shuddham of our prana body or Sukshma body in that. But let me just tell you what technical details it comprises of, so that it's easy for you to flow. So our subtle body or our Sukshma body, it comprises of basically 7 chakras. Though I feel there are 3 more above head and 1 down also, but that gets activated when your maybe level 2 Kundalini gets activated, or you reach a bit higher state. Because in the first level, which we are going to do, first of all, the karmic seeds of this birth, the surface level karmic seeds, first will be transformed. And I feel all the chakras have around I think 7 to 10 gates. So when we start our sadhana, first, for all the yogis, for all the sadhanas, unless they're very, very, very advanced, first this birth karmic seeds are transformed. This birth emotional mental blocks are transformed, and the first level of Kundalini gets activated. Now, most people get stuck. Okay, my first level of Kundalini got activated. I am now enlightened, but that is not. It is just the beginning or tip of the iceberg. Because after that, your second gets activated, third gets activated, and second and third gates are deeply related to your ancestral blocks, your more past life blocks. And once you have transformed that, then And when we transform our karmic blocks, are very subtle and very deep emotional blocks, mental blocks, especially related to attachments. Because see, that is the core of that spirit body, and to transcend that is very, very difficult. But it happens in parts. Like in first part, some of it attachment maybe with the surface level attachments to money, to car, to house, to very materialistic attachments gets warded off, or to wasting your time in certain dopamines which are very temporary effects, etc. Too much lust or too much desire for good food, this and that. So very surface level ones get removed. Then at second level, once you overcome that, your attachments to your family, which is very difficult to transcend, to your husband, to your children, to your friends, to your soulmates, to your life partners, you understand how attachment is so different from unconditional love, right? And then the third level comes, and fourth. So in next video, we'll start the meditation of pranic body, which comprises of 7 chakras and 3 pranic pathways: Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. Ida is the feminine energy, which is in the left side. Pingala is the masculine energy, which is from the right side, and they crisscross and meet at all the chakra points and go above and have a union at Ajna chakra, and then it comes down. So while we will do this meditation, we will push the surface level of blocks through the nadis and then push down and let it go from our feet or from our hands back to Mother Earth, or maybe you can say back to black hole from where it came from. And this is how very basic level of your surface blocks will start getting removed, but this have to be continued for at least 2-3 months. At more advanced level, we take and integrate our mantra sadhana into the chakra prana, and then we start a deeper level of cleaning, which I can say it's the mantra kriya yoga. So until next time, Arrohum. That's it.